Hi, I'm Nathan. Today I am at the beautiful Lloyd Center Mall in Portland, Oregon. This is the home of the Portland Synth Library, a place I've mentioned in some of my videos. They loan out Eurorack modules, hardware synths, guidebooks, and guitar pedals to its members. This also happens to be my very first interview. Can you please introduce yourself and tell us how you got into synthesizers?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Max Jersak. I am a part-time staff member and volunteer here at Synth Library Portland. And yeah, I got into synthesizers, I think, in the way that many people do, which is to start playing guitar and then realize you were more into the guitar pedals than the guitar itself, maybe. Shamefully,
Have been there.
perhaps now, no longer shamefully. But yeah, and so I think that was from like a pretty young age with the guitar pedals, and then I got into Ableton in like 2011, and did software for 6 or 7 years, and then kind of accidentally found myself with the hardware like Electron synth, and kind of loved it. And
What synth was it?
it was the Analog 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it just kind of, something kind of clicked. So yeah, I got really into that, and then that kind of was like, oh, but I could add an oscillator to this thing, and so then I got into Eurorack, kind of been a progression from there. Yeah, the rabbit hole, as we like to say. So
Max, it's great to meet you. Thank you so much for having me at the Synth Library. I've wanted to do an interview here for a long time.
Yeah,
I really appreciate it. I wanted to ask you about the founding of the Synth Library and how you came to be here.
yeah, so Synth Library Portland was formed in 2016 from an artist collective called S1. So we were part of S1, and now we are like freestanding nonprofit arts program. And yeah, we provide low and no cost access to electronic music gear, education, and we also create a community space that kind of empowers people to like not only meet each other but also learn together, play music together, nerd out together. So yeah, and let's see. So I found myself here. I was a member, and then in 2019 I started volunteering, facilitating our like studio time where people would come in and play with the gear at our old space. Yeah, so I was just doing volunteering, and then the pandemic came, and we had to kind of shut down that location. It was our second place that we had been since founding. So then we kind of went into a hibernation mode for a little bit. And then in 2021, we started back with a kind of a smaller like lending program. So we started like a library will lend books. So we started lending gear, and then eventually in spring of last year, 2024. We were able to finally kind of get the resources lined up to open another space, which was really, really exciting, because that's kind of like the heart of what we do. So yeah, we've been here since. I also work here in a part-time capacity.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm curious, we're in a room filled with gear. We're going to put the B-roll on now. How much of this stuff can be lent out? Or is this just for the studio hours that you mentioned earlier?
Yeah. So this is like our studio collection, and so we're lucky to have all of this gear over the past 10 years has been donated to us from like generous individuals, and we couldn't do this without them. But yeah, no, everything you see here is just part of our studio collection. It just lives there. Our gear that is in our lending program, which has gotten more and more popular as we're excited about it, is all actually lent out right now. And when it's not, it'll live briefly in our back room. before it gets lent out again.
So everything we see here is just always here.
It's
which
just
is
always here.
Awesome.
It's available for like our members to drop in. We have certain hours that we're available, and then you can also kind of book time to come in. And we do workshops here every weekend. Yeah, it's starting to, we're starting to have people here all the time. It's really exciting. Yeah,
Love it. Hey Max, I'm wondering if you can give us a little tour of the Synth Library.
Yeah, for sure. So this is our like little tabletop synth station. So we've got our Matrix Brute, little crazy mono synth. We've got our Decker's Dream, which is a crazy poly synth. Some smaller tabletop type stuff, and then we get into some of our wild Eurorack cases, which we love. So yeah, this is the main Eurorack case with some like controllers, Sub 37, which is like a classic mono synth, and then another Eurorack case. And all of our Eurorack cases are kind of designed to be like self-contained systems that work well within, but they can also be cross-patched with other things. And then over here is our esoteric sort of test equipment zone with kind of crazy lab gear from the 50s and 60s and 70s. Yeah, so over here we've got kind of our vibey old vintage poly synths. It's kind of still a work in progress. We're gonna set it up with this sequencer, hopefully kind of get this 80s jam station going. Over here next to that is getting wild, and we love this area. It's one of my favorites. It's like all video synthesis and visual mangling, little tabletop video synths like this Critter and Guitari Izzy. And yeah, I think if once you reach full brain rot, you move from audio into video, and I have recently experienced that myself. But yeah, it's all wonderful. Everything is kind of patched into this switcher, so it's all kind of accessible without having to like get wrapped up in spaghetti all the time. Yeah, just wonderful. So very few people kind of are into this, and it's a wonderful resource to have folks who can kind of explain this to you and walk you through it. And we love kind of introducing people to the world of video. So we're just moving along here. We do our workshops over kind of here with slides, so you get really bored. And then, yeah, here's like Electron boxes, so analog keys, MS-20. We're not just all about hardware here, so we definitely do a lot of workshops on software and live coding and Ableton, intro to Ableton. I do an intermediate workshop or two in this space. So we've got a fully featured kind of software setup. Then over here is kind of a flex space where we can pull out gear from our lending program if we want, if we have like leftovers, or just kind of have people set up whatever they're working on at the time and listen to it. And then probably my favorite thing here in the library is this big modular case, this beautiful like easel case. And yeah, it's just wonderful. We've got the BeatStep Pro and Formus meta module down here, and it's just really nice to be able to have an entire kind of system that's well designed to be self-contained, and you never quite have to get so creative with your patching. So
Hey Max, I think you need to play the synthesizer. So, I have been very interested in the Critter and Guitar video synth for a really long time. Max has hooked it up to the very large modular rack. She's going to demonstrate what it can do right now. Max, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.
This has been awesome. I think the Portland Synth Library is incredible. I think almost all of us agree with that. I wanted to ask you, let's say someone sees this video and wants to support the Synth Library's mission, but maybe doesn't live in Portland. Is there something they could do?
Yeah, for sure. So, if you, we're the first synth library in the world. Since then, there have been a few springing up around, and we definitely love that. But if you want to support a collectively run, volunteer-based space, if you like what we're doing here, you can definitely go to our website. It's synthlibraryportland.org, and just become a member. You don't have to live in the area to become a member. You can support anywhere from $15 a month to $100 a month if you really love us and love to see what we're doing. We definitely need the help with some of the grants getting destroyed recently. So become a member. I think there's also a link to do a one-time donation if that's more of like your style. We really appreciate the support. We can't do it without you. We want to keep the lights on, and thanks for coming and showing us around. Yeah, it's great.